Hey YouTube, it's Matt with Olympus Reptiles, and I am here with Alex from...
Here.
Where are you from?
Manhattan.
Your company.
Ember Leaf.
See, some people don't film all the time. They don't follow, but that's okay. So there's a reason we're here, and it's... Well, you probably saw our thumbnail, and it wasn't a very good thing. So you have recently been through a pretty devastating thing. I can't even imagine what the hell that was like, so I'm not going to pretend to understand. So why don't you kind of tell us, like... Take us through a little bit of that day, like when your house first burned down.
Well, I was working with Kurt, and I got a call from my landlord, and she's like, "Hey, you know your house is on fire?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She's, "Your house is on fire." I was like, "Okay, yeah, sure."
It's on fire!
So I drove home, and sure enough, there's fire trucks everywhere, and there wasn't a whole lot left.
So when you say there's not a whole lot left, because, I mean, I'm sure some of our viewers have had a house fire, but it's a very small percentage of people who have been through that. And, like, I know in talking to Kurt, because he was working through it with you, I don't remember where the hell I was, some of the things I didn't even think of that were missing. Like, I think you mentioned you had, like, one pair of shoes left.
Yeah, I had my work boots that I was wearing, and that's it.
And everything else gone.
Clothes, I had what I was wearing pretty much, and that was it.
So, like, possessions completely gone.
Yep.
And it also wasn't a house that you owned.
Nope.
So the insurance isn't going to come save your ass on that, right?
Nope. Didn't have renter's insurance.
Now, with Ember Leaf Reptiles, you've been featured in a few of our videos. He's also a Patreon subscriber, so if you're not, you should be. And there's a good reason why you should be that we'll kind of touch on here in a little while. You had a basement full of snakes, right? I mean, your business was starting to kind of grow, take off. You were expecting a lot more clutches this year. It was kind of that big turning point year, right?
Yeah. It was finally where it would not be a drain and maybe support itself and maybe do a little extra.
And so what happened with the animals? Because they were in the basement, correct?
Yeah, all my snakes were in the basement, and the fire didn't really do anything in the basement, but when they put out the fire, it filled it up with water, so...
Yeah, so just like our swimming pool outside, they're spraying gallons and gallons, and it's just holding it.
Yep,
correct?
So for my racks, like the bottom 3 tubs of every rack I had, the snakes drowned because they were underwater.
But it wasn't caused, I just want to be clear, the fire wasn't caused by the reptiles, correct?
Yeah, all my racks and everything, they were fine. They were just underwater.
As I remember hearing, they said the cause of the fire was a cigarette, even though nobody was home and nobody in your house smokes.
Well, they didn't say it was a cigarette, but they thought it started on the porch, and that's the #1 thing they thought of, was someone threw a cigarette out. But
I've been to his house. Whoever threw that cigarette, there is about 30 NFL teams who want your services, because it is a long-ass throw for that to go. But, I mean, it could have been anything. Something burned somewhere else in an Ember landing, or it could have started in the wall with the electrical. I mean, who knows? But there at kind of the front, it did look like that's the ignition source. But the reason we're doing this today is not all your animals were lost, right?
no, I had a decent amount of snakes survive.
So I think it was like the bottom 3. So if you look at these racks here, it had been like the bottom 3 rows of every rack you had pretty much toast.
Yep.
And then a lot of boas, because you were into some boas too. And your boa collection got, I remember hearing, it was devastated.
Yeah, I still have some boas, but the majority of them went out.
So what you're seeing here, why we're doing this video, is because what survived of your ball python collection, we're looking at it now, right?
Yeah, I still have some babies left, but that aren't here.
But everything,
all my adults, yeah, these are what's left.
And so the point that I guess I'm making, guys, is, and I know some people are going to say, well, did you quarantine all that? Well, no. There's a bunch of snakes here. They needed a place to be. And within the first, I mean, pretty soon after, a lot of them were here. Then the rest of them were somewhere else for a while, and they've moved here now, too, because your breeding season is actually going to take place here in Olympus, correct?
Yes.
That's the plan right now. And the thing with that is, no, we didn't quarantine them. And yeah, I realize moving snakes in would be better to quarantine, but there's just no way to do that in this situation. And I trust the source, and I'm sure he trusts me. We both would rather it be quarantined. We're both taking a slight, very, very minuscule risk by not. But in this situation, I don't think there was much of a choice. And as much as this is a hobby about snakes and reptiles, it's also a hobby about people and friends. And if you will not help each other when something goes south, you know, and try to find a way to help somebody else's collection stay put and get off the ground and not go back to ground zero. And it took a while, because you had to decide if you wanted to continue this, right? I mean, I can imagine everything's devastated. It's almost like, is this worth continuing right now, or do I put it on the back burner? But you have to help each other out. So I guess that's the point I want to make, is this is a hobby about people as much as it is about snakes, right?
Yeah. Well, if it wasn't for you and Kurt, I probably would have just sold them and got out, because some of my racks didn't make it and didn't have a place, and thermostats and all that. You know, the big grind again, so I wasn't really looking forward to it.
Big grind. Now, you'll still come up here and help us, and we'll be doing a lot of it. We've got everything figured out. And you know, I'm glad you're not selling out. And it's funny to say, because if you think about it from a purely business standpoint, we could have said, oh, well, technically, you're a breeder, a local breeder at that. You're truly kind of competition, right? Here's a chance to smash competition out. But what good does that really make us as hobbyists and as us as people? And it's more than just a business. It's people. I mean, you and Kurt have been friends since you started work at the city, right?
Yep.
You went to Florida with me, hung out for 4 days, and we got drunk in the ocean and somehow didn't die in a storm with bait fish jumping up, and I was drunker than shit pissing in the ocean water. If you swim in Florida, yeah, you're swimming in my pee. But it's just part of what happens. So why don't you show us a couple of your favorite ones that moved over here, that are left. Some of the ones that you were happy when, I guess, when you went back and you said, thank God that I still have this one.
Okay, just I guess a couple quick ones. The Ultra Mills, I showed them before, but I'm glad that they made it, because they're something that I'm really interested in still.
They are pretty. We were debating before we turned on the camera, Ultramel or Tofino. I love the lavender of Tofino. He's more into the contrast of Ultramel. So make sure and comment below, Ultramel or Tofino. I'm probably going to lose this one.
Together?
What's that?
Can you put the two together?
I suppose you can.
No, like, go get the Ultramel.
Oh, I see what you're wanting to do. Oh, okay.
He's just afraid to lose.
No, I was thinking it was a breeding question. No, Tofino's bigger. So which one you guys like? This beautiful lavender, like the beautiful banana that holds its colors with no spots, but Tofino?
Don't try to sell it.
Or I'm going to sell this one too. Or the super high contrast caramely colors of the Ultramel, which to me is like a caramel that doesn't get all fucked up.
Look at the belly.
What, white?
Yeah, but it looks way cooler.
It's belly. This one's got yellow flake in it and purple. So is there anything you want to add about this whole endeavor that you want to talk about, that you want to share with what you went through, or this whole type of, I can't even really imagine.
No, not really. Just thankful that you and Kurt were willing and able to help me out.
And fires suck.
Yeah.
But with that, there's one more thing that I got to add to make all this official. So in closing, Olympus Reptiles is now also the home of Ember Leaf Reptiles. Don't know how long it's going to be that way. I'd guess at least a year, probably.
Probably.
Or at least one full breeding season. But until it needs to be different, this is what we're going to be. You're still going to see me wearing that, because I am a shameless self-promoter. There's just something about me in purple. But all of Ember Leaf will be here. Now we're going to switch over to Patreon, and we're going to tell you why that's going to be really important to you, and a really big bonus if you're on Patreon.
See you next week.
Well, wait, do you have any questions, Kurt?
No.
No. So yes, well, do you have any questions?
Yes.
Oh, he does. See, that's how you do it. What's your question?
Where did you get this awesome shirt from?
Well, this is almost one of the few surviving relics, correct? I've
Yes.
heard. Not many of these left. So we got this from you. You gave this to us, I think, when we did our last film, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Which was in Kurt's basement. Because, see, you guys are like, does this guy really have a reptile facility ever? He did. So what happened was he moved, and in the moving process, it was in Kurt's basement for a hot minute. Excuse me, a little cold. Then he got the new house, moved everything in, and you were there for, what, 5 months?
Maybe a little less than that, but yeah. Close.
And then, whoosh, barbecue. And so everything had to move somewhere, so it's here. So he really did have a facility. He's never got to film in the new one. We actually talked about it, and we're going to. Did Kurt tell you that?
No, of course not.
Of course not. But we did. We're like, we should film over there. And everything's moved in, and then we never got the chance. I did get to see the house, because when we went to Florida, I picked you up there. and then I ran over his trash can because I can't back up. That's why. I'd like to say it was for some other cool reason, but no.
Only he had a rear view camera.
Which, yeah, brand new vehicle, rear view camera. It was working fine. Rock and roll, baby. Any other questions?
What's that beeping noise?
I do not have that. It does not have any beeping alarms. We cheaped out on the safety features. Hey, the plastic can, plastic bumper is fine. You don't need that can anymore.
Nope.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.